Aria Kerwin's account of the hazing she endured at St Mark's and the degrading sex tour she was confronted with is backed up by video and photographs 60 Minutes has obtained, posted online by St Mark's students in previous years.
It's not a culture that we bought into. We thought she'd be safe and secure in a nurturing environment, and this is a hostile environment. This is total intimidation.
Have they failed in their duty of care?
Completely. As far as I'm concerned, yes, absolutely. They know this is going on.
On her parents' advice, Aria complained to college authorities, including the woman who's been Master of St Mark's for 15 years, Rose Olwen. She's also president of University Colleges Australia, representing over 60 residential colleges. Did you specifically say to her, I have seen naked men, I was forced to watch pornography and people simulating sex?
Yes. She said that she was going to have a conversation with the people involved. But there was nothing about, I'll make sure that's never going to happen again, or I'm so sorry you had to see that. Are you okay?
So just dismissed it?
I think she just thinks it's normal.
I said it's absolute rubbish. And I said it's not good enough at all, and you do not even know how disappointed we are with St Mark's. I said I am unbelievably disappointed with how Aria's been treated and the other kids are being treated. It's just not right.
The Master here at St Mark's College claims she does not tolerate any form of harassment or intimidation. Yet Rose Olwen stood by and allowed students like Aria to be traumatised. We have serious allegations of hazing to put to her. The main one being, what right does the college have to confront teenage girls with naked men, hardcore pornography and simulated sex acts?
The buck stops with the heads of college. To claim that they don't know what's going on is unacceptable. If you don't know what's going on, then you've lost control of your own college.
We repeatedly offered Rose Olwen the opportunity to answer Aria's charges about the college's toxic culture, but she refused. She also refused to meet with us in person.
Hey Rose, is that Rose, I'm wondering why when you agreed to sit down for an interview, you've now backed out. Can you come out of your office?
From behind closed doors, the college denied that it had failed to take Aria's complaints seriously. But there was one incident Aria was too ashamed to mention to the Master of St Mark's, when she found herself surrounded by drunken men one night. There was a point where you were forced to take your top off.
Mm-hmm.
How much pressure did you feel to go along with this?
I felt in that situation like there wasn't really an option to say no. Well, like some of us girls were saying, no, we don't want to do that. And I felt so intimidated because they were older, bigger, they'd been drinking. You know, I'm a 5'2", 18-year-old. You know, what am I going to be able to say to them that is going to make them stop? So I just thought I just need to do it.
Next thing you find yourself standing there in just your bra.
Yeah, and feeling very uncomfortable.
Vulnerable?
Very vulnerable because, you know, it was day 4. I barely know any of these people, and I feel like there was such a potential for that situation to probably go really badly really quickly.
How in this day and age can such a dangerous and toxic culture exist within a college?
Don't know. It's in our news every day, the terrible suicides with the young kids in our society through bullying, and that's what it is. It's bullying, it's intimidation.
In what part of society is that all right? If that was happening at school, the people would be expelled. If that was happening in the workplace, you wouldn't have a job. And it's really not okay for anyone to pressure you into doing things like that and to back you into a corner so you feel like you can't really say anything but yes.
Feminists united will never be defeated.
What Aria Kerwin suffered at St Mark's is happening in university residential colleges all over Australia, according to Shana Bremner, the co-author of the Red Zone report.
We worked with a student who, during O Week, was forced down onto all fours as part of a game of truth or dare, and a student stood on her hands while another one stood on her feet, one sat on her back, and they chanted, "No means yes, and yes means anal," and closed in closer and closer on her.
And were these male or female students?
These were
doing
male
this?
students.
And by failing to stamp out hazing and humiliation, colleges are also allowing far more serious crimes to occur.
We still see the same incidences of hazing and abuse occurring time and time again.
It all starts from making these concessions for terrible things that go on. You are taught from day one of O Week to just put up with really awful behaviour, and that's how it carries through.
That leads up to the point of you being raped.
Yes.
Kendra Murphy was 19 when she was raped at St Andrews College, Sydney University in 2014. She blames the college and the extreme drinking culture it encourages for what happened that terrible night when one of St Andrews' top athletes raped her while she was unconscious and drunk.
I sent messages out to my friends to see what happened, if they knew what happened, and I just got messages back saying, "You fucked." And then I got a message from a third-year girl who said, "Hey, I was the one that put you to bed last night. You weren't in a good place. I hate to say this, but I don't think you could have consented to anything. Apparently I was just repeating, I didn't want it, I just want my pillow, please put me to bed." That message made it pretty clear that I had been raped. It felt awful that it got to that point and that no one intervened because everyone was too drunk. There's no one looking out for anyone when you're too drunk.
Kendra, young and having just moved to Sydney from a country town, immediately went to St Andrews College authorities. You reported it to the college very quickly.
Yes.
Was there any physical evidence taken?
No. No, that wasn't even suggested.
Which is the first thing you do when someone says, "I've been raped."
Correct.
Incredibly, instead of telling Kendra to go to the police, the college said it would investigate her rape. Where in the real world is someone allowed to take the law into their own hands?
Nowhere. And that's the thing, college is a strange standalone place. It's not the real world. It makes its own rules and it doesn't report to anyone. It doesn't happen in the real world and it shouldn't be allowed to happen in a college.
Coming up, the college's shocking judgment on Kendra's rape.
They're not going to out him as a rapist or take him to the police.
And hazing claims a tragic victim.
Had he not gone to St Paul's College, he'd be alive today.
That's next on 60 Minutes.